So this is episode 2, guys, of the podcast. Today we'll talk about the Lakers, where they're gonna finish, um, and how we think we're gonna do this season, and how we think that Westbrook and LeBron and AD and our whole team is gonna do this year. So, all right, let's get into it. Okay, Alex, first question: how do you think Westbrook's gonna mesh with LeBron and AD?
That's a good question. Probably a very common one for sure. Um, I think they'll figure it out for the most part because with with the Nets and how they kind of figured out stuff, I think it'll end up working out with the Lakers, especially since
Mhm.
like Russ was 11 points per game last year. Even though it was kind of like a stat, kind of like an add-on, but at least he
Yeah,
showed.
yeah. For me, I think a lot of people saying that it's not gonna work out. I think it's insane that they say that. I could understand because it's like a fit, but I mean it's basketball. These we have three of the best basketball players in the league. It's basketball, bro. Like I understand it's NBA and spacing and shooting and stuff like that matters, but it's basketball, bro. Westbrook doesn't need the ball all the time to be good. He averages a triple double. That means he also gets a lot of assists and a lot of rebounds. And he's gonna average his 20 points or whatever. He's gonna drop a little bit because he has to share the ball or he has to be on the court with other good players at the same time. But if he's gonna average easily 20 points and 8 assists and 11 rebounds just being on the court. So I think it's crazy that people are saying that it's not gonna work because LeBron and AD, it's there's too much talent on the team for it to not to work out. But I mean, I understand when they say the age could be a factor because it's just could we make it through the season? That is a question, and I don't disagree, but I think Vogel is gonna figure it out. We're gonna have to stagger minutes between like I think Kendrick Nunn's gonna play a lot. Malik Monk's gonna play a lot, and THT I think he'll be better, but I think eventually we'll trade him. But I think that's for later, another thing. But but yeah, I think it's
Yeah,
crazy that they say it's not gonna work out. Like it's gonna work out. It's gonna be us and the Nets in the finals, just straight up. That's what I think. So yeah, how do you think AD is gonna play this year?
AD. Wanna I want to hope that he has like a resurgence year where he just like dominates with like 30-point game after 30-point game, double double after double double. But I think it'll be like a slow like kind of like he'll average like 22 like he did last year, but like for maybe like 2 weeks of the season. Then I think he'll start being like the AD we know, having like 40-point games, having 17 rebounds with like 6 assists and having 42 points, that type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he'll, even though we do need the perimeter shooting from him, I think he will be a lot in the paint this season.
Yeah, but I think he's gonna play a lot of five. First, okay, like first, I think to be as good as we can be, I think in the playoffs he's gonna play a lot of five, depending on the matchup. But I think, especially in the playoffs, he's gonna play a lot of five, and I think during the season we're gonna experiment with lineups. So I think it's gonna be a lot of lineups where it's Westbrook at the one, LeBron at the four, AD at the five, and maybe like Malik Monk and like maybe THT, like a real small kind of big kind of lineup. It's a little weird because THT is not big, but I mean in today's NBA it's not a big of a deal. So
Yeah, I get you.
so you could play three guards on the same court, and so I think I think we're gonna experiment with lineups like that, and I think it's gonna help us. And I think and Vogel likes to do this thing where he likes to kind of what you say he likes to say I don't know if like I won't even mostly watch the Lakers. I mean I watch other NBA games. I pay more attention to Lakers, and I noticed that he likes to save stuff for the postseason. Like he does stuff in the postseason that we rarely do in the regular season, and I think that's something that is to our advantage a lot because when we won the title in the bubble, it was Caruso. Caruso was at like kind of like we played him a lot of minutes. He was playing really good, and it's not that he wasn't playing in the regular season. He just employed him he was the shooting guard basically. It was KCP, Caruso, and like LeBron and AD and Morris and Dwight. That was basically the lineup, and it worked out. And I think he's gonna try to employ something like that, but with our quote unquote small ball lineup with AD at the 5 and LeBron at the 4. So I think he's gonna experiment and see what he likes. And I think early on in the season, I think we're gonna struggle because of that. Because we're gonna have to like, there's a lot of players that they're gonna want minutes, but I know everybody's saying that like, oh, they want to sacrifice. But it's one thing to say that, and then like that's a good first step. That's a really good first step. Okay, like okay, whatever it takes for the team. But I know these cats, they want to play, they want to ball. So it's gonna be interesting to see how he's gonna change the minutes or how he's gonna like rotate the minutes. Because Westbrook, LeBron, AD, they're gonna average easily 35 minutes a game. Maybe LeBron a little shorter end, maybe AD on the shorter end. Easily gonna play 36 minutes, 35 minutes a game. So maybe you cut some of the LeBron AD minutes, maybe you rest them here and there, and then you give Melo a lot of run. I think that he's gonna stagger minutes with like Monk and Westbrook. I think he's just gonna do a lot of experimenting early on in the season. So if we do struggle, I would not be surprised or be even worried about it. Like I could see us like the first 20 games of the season being like, or the first 20 games of the season just being like just around the middle of the pack at first, and I think that later on, I think we'll start to pick it up once we find like our rhythm, because it's gonna take an adjustment. Because LeBron is not a great shooter by any means. Westbrook's not a great shooter. AD's okay. He can be mediocre sometimes, but I think it's just gonna be an adjustment period as far as just the fit at first. I think it's gonna. I have a 100% think it's gonna work, and I think we're gonna be top 3 seed. We're not gonna be worried about the number 1 seed or whatever. So because we're not gonna want to press ourselves or anything like that or do unnecessary stuff. It's not worth it in the end. Because I think we're just too talented. But it is gonna be really interesting to see how Vogel kind of goes on and off about the minutes.
Yeah, I would probably like pretty much say what you say, but with like kind of like flexing stuff in and out, kind of like pretty much figuring it out like during the season with like Kendrick Nunn maybe starting sometimes, or Malik Monk, or maybe even Kent Bazemore. Maybe sometime, whichever he's probably not though, because he is up to that age where he's kind of like gassed out, and he'll probably mainly be used for defense.
Yeah, no, there's definitely gonna be some experiment. You're gonna be like, I think early on you're gonna see the starting lineup change a lot, because it's gonna be the main 3. It's gonna be our big 3, and then it's gonna either be a mix of like Malik Monk one day, and then maybe Wayne Ellington or Kent Bazemore or Ariza or Melo, or you'll have the big 3 along with Dwight at the 5 and maybe like Bazemore at the 2. It's gonna be a lot of different things, and I'm okay with that, especially early on, because it's just as long as we're not like terrible. And I know it's not gonna happen, but it's gonna take some time.
And I do think that we might give like certain off days, like every maybe like 5th game or something like that. So maybe Westbrook or AD or even LeBron, even though he'll say like, "Oh, I want to play every game," type of thing. But I think he'll need it because of like how injured he's gotten in the past maybe couple years.
Yeah, but I think it was just some freak things. But I think I get what you mean though. And I think as far as AD, I would like to see him commit to play the 5 more. I think that's where we're gonna be our best. But I think I think how he's gonna play this season. I think he had a long off season. Him and LeBron had a long off season. Because we had the shortest off season in NBA history for us because we were so late, and that could have attested to all the injuries that we had. So I think AD is gonna come out on flames during the season. He's gonna play out of his mind. I think he's gonna win Defensive Player of the Year. That's my call. I think he's gonna win Defensive Player of the Year. I think if I had to say give him a stat line, I say anywhere I say he averages 25, 11, and 2 for the season.
And that'll be 2 blocks.
2 blocks. Maybe like 3 assists. I say 3 assists. I'll give him 3 assists. Yeah, that's where I see him. I think he's gonna be top 5 for MVP voting. I don't think he'll win it because I think we're just gonna cancel each other out with all Westbrook and LeBron. So
Gotcha.
that always happens. But yeah, I expect a lot of things from him this season, and if he doesn't play that well, I don't know what the hell's wrong with him. If he doesn't,
It's gonna be scary.
But I have no worries. I could give him a pass this season because he was hurt in the playoffs when we won the title, and then he only had a few fucking weeks to get back, and it was just kind of he didn't have time to get himself right, and I'll give him a pass.
Yeah.
But this next season, there ain't no pass. There ain't no pass this season. So
honestly,
no pass. But so yeah, how about your expectations for Melo and stuff like that, and Monk? Who you think is gonna be our biggest X factor this season?
I think Malik Monk for sure. I think he's very underrated, and I'll search it up right now, but I think he was shooting really good last year. I think it was near 40% or 40%.
He shot 40. He shot 40% last season.
Exactly. I think he could do really good for us. 81% from the line, which we need because we're terrible from the line. 42% from the field, which is okay. And then 40% from the field. I mean from 3. That's I think that could really help us for sure.
Yeah, and I think I agree. I think Malik Monk is gonna be that guy that kind of like I feel like he's gonna be like in his role. I think he's gonna be like our main 6th man. I think like it'll be Melo there, but I think Malik's he's gonna try and be like that Lou Will kind of role. I think he fits that mold pretty well. I think. Defensively, I'm not too sure about him, but I think he'll be best fitted on the bench with us. I think so.
I get that. And guess his age.
He's like 25, bro.
Younger. He's 22. I did not know that.
Wow, yeah, he's really young.
Exactly. Yeah. He could be a good weapon for us for a couple of years.
Yeah, if we're able to keep him. But I think he's gonna have a really big year. I think he's gonna be like that X factor kind of player. I think Kendrick Nunn will be solid, but I think Monk is gonna have that impact. I think you're gonna feel it when he's on the court.
Yeah, I think he'll be a more assertive KCP.
Yeah. Yeah. Because Malik, he's not gonna have to worry about like being the guy, or because for a while it was like before LaMelo, I'm sorry, was on the Hornets and stuff. They had like it was Rozier and like him, and it was kind of like a battle. It was like, okay, whose team is it, or who wants to be the guy? And Malik was just kind of shaky, and I feel like he didn't know like his where he fit in. And I think being on our team, I think his role is gonna be solidified, and I think he'll be more on top of his game because there's not gonna be so much attention on him because you're gonna have Kendrick Nunn in the court with him most of the time, or Westbrook, or Braun, or Melo, and it's like I think he's just gonna be there to hoop, and I think that's where he could fit.
Yeah, same. And I think he'll be like this multi dimensional kind of player, like kind of maybe scrappy, because he is very athletic.
He's a really good. Sure. I think he's gonna be a really good combo guard for us. I think he's gonna surprise a lot of people. I really have high hopes on him. I can't believe we got him on a minimum deal. Yes. So, what do you think about Kendrick Nunn?
With Kendrick Nunn,
yeah,
I think he'll be like a volume guy for sure. I mean, he played 30 minutes with Miami, but I don't think he'll play all that. Maybe like a bench role where it'll seem like he'll be a starter and get maybe like 20 minutes. But I feel like he'll be like our fuel off the bench because he did average 15 and pretty much 15 with Miami. He
Hmm.
was about to win sorry, Rookie of the Year before the bubble happened. So, or at least a finalist.
So yeah, like my honest opinion, I'm not that crazy high. I feel like I'm not that high on Kendrick just for the simple fact that I feel like it's gonna be kind of a weird situation with his minutes. Cause I mean, like I like him as a player. I don't think he's gonna have a hard time fitting in. I just feel like he's not gonna get the consistent minutes that he might want or need. Yeah, cause what our guard rotation is Westbrook, Monk, Kendrick Nunn, Rondo, THT. That's what, five guards?
Mm-hmm.
Five guards. So
Wayne,
and
shooting
Wayne.
guard,
That's shooting guard.
6.
So we have six guards, and one of them is gonna play at least 30 minutes. So
Yeah, that is a lot.
30 plus. 30,
For
30
sure.
for him is a lazy night. So 30 for Westbrook is a lazy night. So that's what I'm saying. So it's like I feel like, and if we expect Malik Monk to play as well as he is, I think he's gonna at least garner like 20 minutes a game, Malik. Because I think our young guards are gonna have to carry us, and I'm not sure exactly where THT and Kendrick Nunn will fit into that rotation. Because Westbrook is gonna get 30 alone. I expect Malik to get at least 20. Wayne Ellington might play 10 or 15. Maybe Kendrick will play 10 or 15. But is that enough for him to be consistent? Because we saw in Miami when he got replaced by Dragic late in the season when we played him because he wasn't playing that well because his minutes were starting to get shorter and it was just on and off for him and he was not playing that well. So that's my only concern with Kendrick Nunn. I just feel like he's not going to find his rhythm as good as well as he might expect. So that's my only concern with him.
Yeah, I get you. Especially with how many bodies we have to move around and rotate. Yeah, I could see that happening where like he might not have the time of consistency and be able to be consistent because he has like a 20 like minute night and then he'll get like 3 the next night.
Exactly. So that's my point on that. And on the same token about THT, this might be a little controversial. I think we're gonna trade him. I think because think about it. Who are our biggest contracts on the team? Westbrook.
LeBron,
He's not getting traded. LeBron, AD. They're not getting traded. The next biggest contract on the team is who? THT. And it's not like he's getting paid 30 million. He's getting paid what? 12, 13 million? Something like that. I'm not sure.
I think it's like 10-ish around there.
10, something like that. It was a 3 for 30, right?
I think it was.
Something along those lines. That's a tradable contract. And he's young and he's a young solid prospect. That's a very, very tradable contract. I think at some point Pelinka's gonna have it in his back pocket just in case if things aren't maybe going too well or we just need an extra piece here or there or a nice wing player, a solid wing player that I think he's gonna have in just in his back pocket just in case we need to make a move. Because I mean that's a very movable contract. Anybody would take him. So it's not gonna take a lot to move him. Not that he's unusable, just for a
He
run.
won't fit.
Yeah, just for a championship run. I don't think it's out of the question that he's gonna be moved because, like, I mean, I honestly just think that makes the most sense because it's not like we could have signed anybody with that money, anybody else. We only because we have his bird rights. It was able to work for him because we have his all his rights and everything. So that's the only reason why we could have signed him. Anybody else to get that contract, it would be too much. It wouldn't have worked. So I think it makes sense that why we gave him that deal. And just on the back end, I think it's just an idea that could happen. But I think I have my gut feeling that he's gonna get moved at the trade deadline.
I could see that happening for sure. Especially since when the Kyle Kuzma trade and the KCP trade happened, our other two most expensive contracts. were them at like 13 mil pop. So
Yeah. So exactly. So it just gives us another way to maneuver if we need to.
yeah, and inexpensive at the most contract.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So because we
pretty
could
much.
grab somebody and throw in a pick or two to grab a solid wing player, because I think that's where our weakest spot is. It's like LeBron, and the next
And
wing
then
is Trevor, and he's like old as fuck, or
or
no,
Carmelo
or
for the
Carmelo,
corner,
and
like
I just want somebody a little more. I just want younger legs at that
yeah,
three.
I get you.
That at least for my liking. So I don't think it's out of the question that we trade for somebody on a 1 or 2 year, and just kind of get it done, so that it'll help us for a run. In my opinion.
Yeah, I understand that for sure.
So that's what my idea is on that. I think seating wise, I think we're definitely going to be in the top three. I want to say three exactly on the point. I want to say three. So that's just my gut feeling. Three sounds about right. I think the start of the season will be slow, and I think we'll pick it up and find our pace during the latter end of the season. So I think three is around. It is around reasonable. So that's why I think that's where I have us finishing.
For me, I think I have us two competing with somebody like the Nuggets for one.
It's gonna, yeah, that's fair. I think the Nuggets would be like maybe a 2, and the Jazz would be another 1. I think the Suns aren't gonna be as good, to be honest. I know they made the. I don't know. I don't have a lot of.
I don't know about not as good because
I don't have a lot of
I still think
to say about them.
they are a really good team, but I think it's like everybody's health just going up that they won't be as like I guess you could say good because like I could see them being a 4 or 5 seed, mainly 5, being like that middle of the pack, like in the standings kind of team.
Put it this way. I think they might have a solid regular season, but they're not gonna have the same success in the postseason, because it was a watered down run for them, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like, props to them. They did their thing. They did what they had to do. It's not like they have a choice on who to play when or who's healthy. Props to them. They got it done. That's a part of the journey, being healthy and making it all the way through. But everybody knows. Everybody knows. Even if the Lakers were healthy, they probably would have won the series. Right? Same thing.
Yeah.
The same thing I think goes for the Bucks. Everybody knows the Nets would have probably took the chip. So I think the Suns run specifically is a little watered down, because again, they didn't play the best teams in the league. They really didn't.
Yeah.
So
I get you. And with that, it's like the Suns don't beat the Lakers in 6 if AD's completely healthy. They don't sweep
exactly,
the Nuggets if Jamal Murray is
Jamal
on the
Murray's on the
Nuggets.
court. Yeah, like it's just,
They don't beat the Clippers in what 6 or 5 if
if Kawhi is playing.
Kawhi is healthy. Like
Yeah,
that's not happening.
that's not happening. So I think it'll be interesting to see how the Suns play. I just don't hold a lot of weight to the run that they had. It's good for them. First time they made it to the finals in a long time, but I think it goes to show why they didn't win. They just don't. I don't think they have enough. That's why I think in the end the Bucks had the best player in the series, and that's why they lost.
Yeah.
In almost in any game that the Suns play, they're not gonna have the best player on the court. I think. And Booker was amazing though. I'll give Booker that. He was incredible. He get offensively. He really did. He gave me shades of Kobe. I'm not gonna lie. He really did. He gave me shades of Kobe. Like when I was younger, watching like Kobe play against the Suns, and I know some of our friends or some of my friends could attest. Like Kobe was or Booker was doing some of the things that Kobe would do, just hitting tough shots that just you're just like, damn, dude,
Yeah.
like it just takes you right out the game. It's just he was doing stuff like that. So Booker, I think I'm definitely proud of him, and he's one of my favorite players. But again, I think as a team in general, most of the time I don't think they're gonna have the best player on the court, and I think that's why they're not gonna be as successful. this season.
Yeah, I'd probably mostly agree with that for sure.
They might have the second best player, but most of the time, the team with the best player on the court wins. Okay, so just off the cuff, Alex, just off the top of your head, just yes or no, straight up answer: are we gonna win the championship? Are the Lakers gonna win the championship?
You know what?
Healthy, everyone's healthy.
Everyone's healthy. We have a good season. Hopefully, I think we win the championship.
You think we beat the Nets?
I think we beat the Nets. We win 2 chips in 3 years.
Same, me too. Because honestly, I think us and the Nets. I honestly think we match up pretty well, to be honest. Because okay, it's like this. It's like okay, Westbrook and Kyrie, they can maybe handle each other. They can even each other out. Maybe Westbrook can outduel Westbrook. Westbrook can maybe outduel Kyrie in a more of a like totality as far as like rebounds, assists, points. But I think for the most part, I think they can kind of like cancel each other out, if you get what I'm saying, right?
Yeah.
Harden is a guy that could kind of mess us up, right? Because we don't really have an answer for him, right? LeBron is our answer to KD. So they for the most part can cancel each other out, right? But on
AD.
Right? But listen, but on the other end, we have AD, and they don't have nobody at all to throw at AD. The best defender they can throw at us is what's his name? He's a big man. I forgot his name.
Nicholas Claxton.
Yes, him. He's not gonna guard no Anthony Davis. He can hold his own maybe for a little bit, but in a 7-game series, AD's gonna eat him up, bro. So, and then what are they gonna throw Aldridge at him? No, like exactly. It's just I think them two in a finals matchup with us are gonna be the biggest like keys, because I think KD's gonna do his thing, LeBron's gonna do his thing, Westbrook's gonna do his thing, Kyrie, and they're all gonna cancel each other out. But I think at the end of the day, as far as the 7-game series goes against the Nets, I think the key is if we can contain Harden and if they can contain AD. And I think whoever wins that matchup, I think will win. And I think we have the upper hand. I think we have the upper hand in that. Because think about it. We have a lot of guards, Alex. And whether or not we keep THT, I'm not saying that they're going to slow him down or they're going to stop him or whatever. Just give him a hard time. Just give him a hard time. It hurts that we lost Caruso because he would have been a good guy, a good defender to put on him. He's not going to stop him. It's Harden. But it just kind of sucks that we don't have him. But I think we have a ton of bodies, especially young guards, that can just get in his face, bother him, annoy the hell out of him. I think that's in our advantage when it comes to a series against the Nets. And I don't think the Nets have anybody that's going to even bother Anthony Davis. The only guy is Claxton, but he can't play all the time. He can't play the whole game. Because we can throw Monk at Harden. He's not a good defender, but still, it's just a body. Monk, Ariza, Bazemore, Westbrook, THT, Ellington. Like, we have just bodies to throw at him. You get what I'm saying? So I think that's in our advantage. And as far as the Nets go with guarding Anthony Davis, it's Claxton. That's their best guy. And then who? Aldridge's old ass? No. Please. And then what, Blake Griffin's? No. Like, seriously, tell me. And they just lost DeAndre Jordan. We're going to eat them up in the paint, bro. Seriously. They might have an upper hand when it comes to small ball or whatever, but our small ball team is AD at the 5. Like,
exactly. And he can guard literally like,
and he can guard
3 through 5, 2 through 5.
Exactly. So I think if it comes down to a small ball game, I think we'll win. We're just bigger in the small ball game, if you get what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Because they they have nobody to throw at AD, bro. Nobody.
And it's not like it's Rudy Gobert where like Rudy Gobert is like immobile. Anthony Davis.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's Anthony Davis.
So I think that's what, if it comes down to a matchup like that, I think we beat them because of it, Anthony Davis. Yeah. What he does on both ends of the court, it's just gonna be. I think he's gonna be the deciding factor. If he doesn't play well, we lose. Easy as that. If he plays like Anthony Davis, I think we win without a question. because the Nets. They're not even a good defensive team. They're average to below average. Now our team is a lot different now. Our team has always been a good defensive team, but we lost a lot of talent defensively. Caruso, KCP, even Kuzma was decent last year. So I think it's going to be really, really telling on like the first few weeks to the midpoint of the season and how we are defensively, and I think that's going to contribute to a lot to whether or not we're able to beat the Nets. Because I think that even defensively, I think just Vogel is just a good enough coach. He's never coached. I think I'm not sure if that's correct or this is correct or not, but I think I read something that he's never not coached a top 10 defense when they're winning, when he's on a winning team. So like the Pacers, the Lakers, I think they've always had a top 10 defense. If I'm correct. Someone can correct me if they want to, but I think we're gonna figure it out. I just do. I think Anthony Davis is gonna be too much for the Nets to handle. They have literally nobody to throw at him, bro. Aldridge is too old and too slow. Claxton's good, but he can't play the whole damn game. Like, who's their big man, Alex? I really don't know. It's Blake and Aldridge and Claxton.
Yeah,
for their big man.
pretty much.
Literally, I don't know anybody else. That's a 4 or 5. I really don't. And they don't have Jeff Green anymore. So he's fucking 6'6", 6'7". So
yeah, Jaleel Okafor. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, bro. Jaleel Okafor, please, no, please. So it's literally in the hands of Anthony Davis, bro. Literally, if he plays like Anthony Davis should, I think the Lakers win in 6 games. If Anthony Davis plays like Anthony Davis, the Lakers will win the championship in 6 games, not 7, 6. The Nets are not good enough defensively, and the Lakers are now they're good enough offensively to hold their own when LeBron's off the floor. Because that was our problem last year. Now we have Westbrook. Now we have Monk. Now we have none to at least give us a punch. Carmelo, just hold it down for 6 minutes while LeBron rests. And it's that simple. And I think we win. Because they don't have the personnel on defense to compete with us on offense. Offensively, they some nights they might just run us out the gym. But I think when we're locked in and just ready to play, I just think we're even now with all the changes that we made, I just think we have enough personnel to hold them to enough where we can score more points. That's simple. I don't think they can stop us.
Yeah, I get you.
Because I think on some nights maybe we can hold them down to 100, 110 points. But I don't think they could hold us to that on a consistent basis.
Yeah, I get you. But with the defense thing, I think it was kind of shown in the Buck series with the Nets that like their defense isn't as bad as everybody says it is. Because like the Bucks, they're not a bad defense.
That's different though, Alex. Because guarding Giannis in the playoffs, even okay, in the finals, he looked incredible because of the fact they had nobody to guard him. They couldn't put nobody on him, right? So even if you're backing up, who are you gonna put on him? Jay Crowder? No. DeAndre Ayton's too slow. Mikal Bridges is too small. You can't really do much with Giannis with the Suns. And then with the Nets, I think I'm not, correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know if he was struggling the first 2 games of the series. Don't correct me if I'm wrong. But if you have the personnel, you can guard Giannis efficiently. Like if you throw a KD at Giannis, I think he can hold his own. I really do. And if you clog the paint with like a DeAndre Jordan like they used to have, I think it helps. But it's harder when you don't have the big men like that. So it's they don't match up well with us on the defensive end. They just don't.
I think I get that, but at the same time, I mean, yeah, I do think Giannis did struggle a couple games early on in that series, but it's like you saw their scoring from everywhere that series, and with their defense sure, it wasn't like, okay, they made nice plays. It was just they held their own. And I
Yeah,
think
they
that'll
had key
just be
stops.
enough.
They had key stops, but on consistently, Alex, against Anthony Davis, because remember they were just worried about Giannis. Seriously, there was Giannis and Chris Middleton, because Drew wasn't playing like crazy well in the playoffs, maybe up until the last few games of the finals, but it was mainly just Giannis. So they didn't let Giannis beat them at first, and then Kyrie went down, and then it was just kind of a lot. It was too much for them to handle after that point because they had no Kyrie, no Harden. It was just too much. But they don't have the personnel to throw at Anthony Davis. They just don't. Especially now that they lost DJ. Like
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
they don't have enough. Like maybe we can't stop them, but I know they can't stop us. For sure.
Yeah, yeah.
Easily, like without a question. So that's my only thing. So
Yeah, I'd
I
probably
think we win. I'm calling it now. I think the Lakers win in 6. Calling it win in 6. Everybody, Lakers win in 6 against the Nets. I'm calling it right now. Quote me.
I'd say we win in 7 though. I say we win in 7.
6 games.
I think the 3 wins will be 3 really close ones that might like slip out of our fingertips.
6 games. I'm calling it right now. Hot take. Lakers win in 6 games against the Nets. Simple. All right, guys. So I think this wraps it up for episode 2 of the Alex and Nate podcast. We still want an official name. We still don't really have an official name. I think if you guys can help us, anybody in the comments, anywhere, TikTok, anywhere, I think you guys could help give us a name. We're brothers. So I think if you guys can maybe like spin something off that, it would be very well appreciated. But this is Nathan and Alex signing off on episode 2 of the podcast. Leave a like and subscribe and comment if you enjoyed it. And we'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.
Peace.